Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. This morning, we're going to be chatting about how joy can come in the morning. And we have MW Productions in the house this morning to help us discover how we can bring some more joy into our lives. Good morning, gentlemen. Anton Williams, the creative director, and Mr. Kadesh Clouden, who's the conductor for the show.
Yeah.
I understand. Welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, so let's start with what is MW Productions all about?
Well, MW Productions is a newly minted production company founded July 2021, and we are focusing on, different productions within the performing arts. We're now, getting our toes wet, especially breaking into this industry, especially in a post-COVID, hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, getting there, post-COVID world. And we're really focusing on this year in particular. Our main theme is building our community. On our first stop on that journey is building our youth. And that's what our first venture, Joy Cometh in the Morning, is about.
It's about building the youth. So Kadesh was one of the youths that you're building?
Kadesh is one of the youths that we're building.
How is he building you? How is MW Productions building?
Providing an opportunity for me to be able to go out and, harness my craft as a young, aspiring conductor. So.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you have about four or five young conductors who will be working on this show.
Four of us.
Four conductors, right? So you're one of them. Tell me about the process that you've been going through in order to prepare for this show.
In terms of the process, we've been, working with a very qualified and lovely cast, some really talented persons in there. And it's really about shaping the music and giving them the context to really guide through the process of learning it.
Right. Now, you said cast and not band. Is there a difference between the two? Or is it, because you're saying, from what I read, it's a musical show. Yeah, but you're saying cast. Does that mean we have acting and all that kind of thing involved in it as well?
Well, cast in the sense that we have a variety of vocalists.
Okay.
We have accompaniment on both keyboards and steel. So in that sense, a great cast of musicians.
All right. I noticed, Anton, that the show is it's heavily based in music, but we're doing things like musical theater, we're doing gospel music, we're doing that kind of thing. I saw Negro spirituals as one of the things as well on the list of things that are happening. Is that the style that MW Productions is going down? Like, these are the type of shows that you can expect, or is it meant to be a wider variety, or what?
Well, the intention is to branch off into a wider variety, but as of now, we're providing content that can reach different audiences.
Right.
We are trying as best as we can, well, especially with this event, Joy Cometh in the Morning, to bring that sense of comfort, happiness, and a reignition of hope into personnel.
I assume that's what you want people to take away from the show when they leave.
That is exactly the intention.
Tell me one of the pieces that you're presenting that will make us feel that joy.
The first piece for me would be homage, paying respects to the very, tumultuous time we had over the past 2 years. And
you want to respect it? I want to get rid of that time. But
well, we have to acknowledge it, even though those 2 years feel like it was nothing.
Right.
But coming out of it, we're coming out very victorious and, seeing the opportunities that we can now explore in this new norm.
All right. Who are some of the other conductors you're working with on this project?
So we are so happy to collaborate with some persons who are experienced not within the realm of what we're presenting. So we're presenting both chorus and steel in collaboration with soloists, even violinists as well. So we have Kadesh Clouden as one of them, myself, Anton Williams. Then we have Berkeley graduate Joshua Joseph, and then we have graduate of the University of the West Indies Department of Creative and Festival Art, Shaquille Rose.
Okay.
All right, so it's four of us that will be presented at that showing on Sunday.
What made you decide on these four conductors?
Well, we all run in similar circles.
So this is really nepotism.
It's not nepotism. You know why? Because I did reach out to others, and persons weren't available, especially as the entertainment industry was reopening.
Right.
A lot of persons' schedule got a bit busy. It was originally 5 of us, but however, with jobs becoming available in the entertainment industry, I understood.
Tell me, what so far has been the most challenging part about putting together your own production?
COVID.
COVID is the most
COVID is the most challenging because we have strict COVID guidelines for rehearsals, and even in planning the event, because as creative director, I'm in charge and tasked with the creative direction of the company. So our plans for this year was planned from November, December 2021.
Right.
Now, November, December 2021, entertainment sector was still closed.
It had none there.
It had nothing happening. So we had to be hopeful
Right.
that when the time comes, things would open up, and thankfully we're in that place. We have still, even though restrictions are relaxed, we still have strict COVID guidelines in rehearsals. Even at the performance venue, we will be adhering to such.
Where is the performance venue?
So it's actually going to be at the Church of the Assumption in Maraval
Nice.
at 6 p.m.
Okay. They're letting you do Negro Spirituals and Assumption Church?
Yes, they are.
Impressive.
You seem surprised.
I mean, for me, it's like, it's a new venture, right? So I don't think I've ever been to an event in a church like that where, it's not a gospel-based event, strictly gospel-based. It's strictly Catholic gospel. I expect that when you go to a church. How much are tickets and that kind of thing? How can people be a part of it?
Not a problem. So general admission tickets are 200, special reserve are 250. They are going really quickly. So I suggest persons follow MW Productions TT on Facebook and on Instagram to get some information on the event.
MW Productions TT. On both Facebook and Instagram. You're giving away any tickets for people, or you're just selling?
Well, we're just selling as of now.
Because they're going so fast, you don't have no chance to keep it.
Exactly.
We give thanks for that. Kedesh, what's been the most challenging part for you as a conductor, conducting steel, vocals, choir, violins, everything?
For me, I have a very predominant steel background.
Right.
So, just getting accustomed to, working with the vocalists and understanding what they need.
What's the difference between working with a instrument that plays like a voice and a voice?
Well, for me as a panist, if I strike an A, I get an A. But for a vocalist, it really takes, finding where that is in the register and understanding how to produce that pitch.
Okay.
So it's not as instant as the steel would be. So, you really need to shape them and, memorizing it and ensuring that they could reach those notes when the time comes.
Is that difficult to do?
It's fairly simple, but starting off could be a big challenge in terms of getting it together.
Tell me about the choir that you guys are working with. Is it like random people come together and form a choir, or is it an established existing choir?
Well, it's random people that we reached out to. However, the company had its first production in November 2021, and we would have reached out to some persons who we're glad to have back. We have music festival winners. We have persons who are members of long-established choirs within the country, music enthusiasts. We really were happy to provide this platform for them to express, like we were talking about earlier, with the entertainment industry closed and choirs being one of it's a major super spreader gathering. So we were just happy to have these persons who were just so excited and willing to be a part of the event.
How big is the steel orchestra side of things? Because I know if you're in a church, I assume the acoustics are going to be a bit of a challenge when it comes to steel pan and voice and violin and everybody being clearly heard. What reassurances can you give the audience coming to the show that it'll all be good? What size is the steel band?
So our steel orchestra is actually a petite size. There are 7 of us.
Oh, okay.
So because I took into consideration the chorus is 16 voices.
Ooh.
So I didn't want to overpower and then have voices pushing too much.
So we did some maths before we went into the situation.
Of course,
I think it's important for people to understand that it's not just you show up and you sing or you show up and you play. That the amount of work and preparation that goes into it is why we charge what we charge at the door, why we want to sell tickets for a certain price. Because, besides wanting to pay everybody for doing the work that they did, it's a lot of work.
Indeed.
And I think it's important for people to appreciate that. Well, gentlemen, all the best with this. When is the show? I asked all these questions.
Not a problem. Well, the show is actually on Sunday, the 1st of May, which is this coming Sunday.
Well, I get tickets now.
Get the ticket now at 6 p.m. One thing I must mention, though, and I'm so happy to have our partners on for this event. The National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago have been so helpful, and we're so grateful to them, supporting the development of youth and our arts and culture, as well as Call Fire. I'm so happy to have these sponsors on for this event.
All right. Well, this is fantastic. Sunday at 6 p.m. at Assumption Church in Maraval. Get your tickets now. Head across to MW Productions TT on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much, Anton Williams, the creative director of MW Productions, and Kedesh Clouden, conductor for the show. Well, one of the conductors for the show. Yeah. Anton is also one of the conductors for the show. And Josh was actually a friend of mine. We graduated from ACAM together just the other day.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, man.
Look at that.
So big up Joshua. Small world. We take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show, guys. Stick around. We're here till 8 a.m.